Okay. Onthou julle die metode van vierkantsvoltooiing wat julle in graad 11 gedoen het? Anyone? Completing the square. Do you know what that is though? After I said it in English, the third time. I know what it is in English. Do you know what it means when you are completing the square? Okay, good. When we are completing the square, we are saying that an expression or a equation can be written in terms of a bracket squared plus or minus something else. So we used it specifically when we were working with parabolas last year. En jy het dit gebruik om iets te gaan skryf van sy standaardvorm na sy draaipuntvorm toe. Do you remember the turning point form is the one where you can read the turning point of the formula? If you guys don't remember this now, you will have to start studying your grade 11 graphs anyway soon. So dit is daarin. Wat jy dit van jou standaardvorm gaan vat na die draaipuntvorm toe spesifiek by die parabool. Elise, are you awake? She's here. Okay. So we are going to specifically use it in grade 12. When we have something like that. I'm sort of on page 9, on page 190, but only sort of. Okay. So do you guys see that the first part of this is in terms of x and the second part is in terms of y? Aan die ander kant van die vergelyking het ek iets wat op die ou ende r kwadraat ten minste bydra tot r kwadraat. Okay, but I want to go and write this in the form x minus a squared plus y minus b squared is equal to r squared. So ek wil 'n hakie hê in terme van x wat gekwadreer is en ek wil 'n hakie hê in terme van y wat gekwadreer is. And on the other side, I just want a constant. Nee, r kwadraat is mos net 'n gewone getal sonder enige veranderlikes. So, do you guys remember something like this? B over 2 squared. Soort van? Nee. Okay. The B we're talking about here is when you have ax squared plus bx, plus c. So as jy 'n parabool het, the b is the number standing in front of x to the power of 1. Nee? Sien julle? Wat ook al staan voor x tot die mag 1. So we're going to do it once for the first part, for the pink part, and once for the blue part. Okay, van presies dieselfde ding 2 keer doen. Ek net gou kyk of ek hier al iets kan regkry. Okay, julle twee, ek gaan hom nou present. And then I hope it works. Okay. So as ons eers net gaan kyk na x kwadraat minus 2x. Wat is die waarde van b in daai geval? What will the value of b be in that case? Negative 2. Okay. So for that part, I'm going to say negative 2 over 2 squared. So that's minus 1 squared, which is equal to 1. Daar is 'n rede hoekom ek hom heel pad in die hakies hou tot aan die einde toe. I'll talk about that now. Okay, goed. And I'm going to add that here. Maar wanneer ons besig is met 'n vergelyking, moet jy alles wat jy aan die linkerkant doen aan die regterkant ook toe. So I'm adding the 1 on the left-hand side, there by the x's, and I'm adding it on the right-hand side by the 9. So stem julle saam, oor die algemeen het ek nie 'n waarde gaan verander nie. Because if you add it on both sides, it's still in balance with one another. Nee? Ek het nie die waarde van die vergelyking gaan verander nie, ek het hom net anders gaan skryf. I didn't change the value of the equation, I just rewrote it in another way. Okay, nou los ons hom eers so. For the second part, I have y squared plus 10y, and now I need to calculate what I will add there. What is the value of b for the second part? 10. See you Do you see it will be 10? Because it's in front of the variable to the power of 1. I'm looking for the 1 to the power of 1. Nee? So ek soek hierdie ene. So I'm going to say for the second part, it's 10 over 2 squared. Is daai bietjie lig? Ten over 2 squared, which is 5 squared, which is 25. So I'm going to add the 25 here, and I'm going to add it there. Okay, so sien julle, ek het vierkantsvoltooiing 2 keer gedoen. I completed it for the values in terms of x, and I completed it for the values in terms of y, maar wat belangrik is jy gaan tel al twee daai waardes aan die ander kant by die konstante ook, want ons mag nie gaan verander aan die vergelyking nie, but you are allowed to do something on the left-hand side as long as you do it on the right-hand side as well. Okay. Goed, en die rede van vierkantsvoltooiing, ek weet nie of julle dit kan onthou nie, maar daai 1 daar maak nou dat ek daai 3 terme kan skryf as 'n hakkie kwadraat. I can now write those 3 terms as a bracket to the power of 2. Does anybody know what the bracket will look like? Yes. And that's why I keep it there. Dit wat daar in die hakkie staan met sy teken, voordat jy hom gekwadreer het, is altyd dit wat hier in die hakkie gaan staan. So those 3 terms, yeah. It says that I am presenting, but it is not presenting. I try again. Stop. Okay, check if you can see it now.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Okay, so we're done with the pink part. The pink part is in terms of x. Ons gaan nou praat oor hoekom ons dit doen. Okay, now this blue part, the reason why I have the 25 there is that can now be written as a bracket squared. What will that bracket be? I plus 5. And what do we have on the right hand side? 35. Okay, so ek het alles in terme van x saam gegroepeer, alles in terme van y saam gegroepeer, alles anders aan die ander kant van die is gelyk aanteken. So I have all my x's together, all my y's together, everything else on the other side of the equation sign. Then I went and I completed the squares looking at only the x's. Why did I do that? Because now I have a bracket squared in terms of only x. I did the same for the y's, completing the squares in terms of just the y's because now you have a bracket squared in terms of y. En dan al die ander goeders add jy net by daai 9 wat aan die ander kant is. Does this format look familiar? A bracket in terms of x squared, a bracket in terms of y squared, and then a number on the other side. That is the equation of a circle. So what is the midpoint of that circle? Other way around. 1 and minus 5. Onthou, as ons die formule het hy x minus a kwadraat plus a minus b kwadraat is gelyk aan r kwadraat. So you have to change the sign of a and b. Nee? Sien julle? En wat gaan sy radius wees? Wees versigtig. Square root of 35. So do you guys see why we should do this? Because now you have information about this circle. You know where the midpoint of the circle is, and you know what the radius of the circle is. Maar as ons net gekyk het na daai oorspronklike ene wat ek vir julle gegee het, daar's geen inligting wat ons van die sirkel van daar weet nie. Okay, so by completing the squares and writing it as a bracket squared plus a bracket squared, we now have the midpoint of the circle and we have the radius of the circle.